Greetings, Elder Blacklight. Today's talk is going to be about brothers pimping the community. And game recognizes game. You got to be able to know game when it's right there in front of you. And you're going to identify these brothers, make a list. Y'all make a list now. Excuse me. You got a whole lot of young brothers that think they know game. You got the likes of Nature Boy. I put Nature Boy at the top of the list because Nature Boy is mixing metaphysics in with Pimpology. Up under him, I put young Pharaoh. Pharaoh's put mixing metaphysics in with Pimpology. And but the number one of all times is Polight. So let me scratch that. I put Polight on top of Nature Boy. Nature Boy second, Polight number one. Nature Boy second, Young Pharaoh number three, and Poppy. Hassan Poppy, put him 4. There's some more brothers probably up in that mix. But these are the main focus right here. And Sinetta. Sinetta, he's pimping, but he's more of a promoter. He promotes controversy. That's what Sinetta does. He does it well. He's very skillful in his manipulation of controversy. But now, Polight, he's more of a con than a pimp. Pimp is second. And it's closely related because pimping and conning is closely related because you got to sell yourself to your tricks or to your hoes. In the street world, in the street game, street life, the elder Macs and pimps used to tell me there's 3 types of people: pimping, hoes, and tricks. You can't go in like a pimp, like a hoe or a trick, and wind up a pimp. Or you can't go in a pimp and wind up a trick. You got to be committed, and you got to have a sense of willpower. See, and that's what most people lack it. Now, me myself, I put 4 types. I put 4 types of people in the streets, or you could say 5. It's like pimping, hoeing, tricking, kings and queens, That's 4. But God is above that, because God, he don't think in a box. He crosses all limits. There's no limitation to one with a God mind. You know, good or bad. See, whatever your passions are, if you can't keep your passions or your cravings or your yearnings in check, then you still a trick and hoe. See, God means the possessor and master of power and force. That means you manipulate your power and your force by your will. And a Muslim only means bowing to the will of Allah, who is the supreme master, who is the most high, who is the all in all. When you bow to the will of Allah, you're mastering your will to control or to master all your faculties, all your powers, and all your force that is within you. And there's no limitations. Master P had it right. No limitations. You know, because you limit yourself by how you think. Now let's start in on Polight. Polight is very articulate. He's the master of words. He's the master of perceptions. And he comes at you in angles. He have angles to his logic and his thinking has angles to him. And he plays all the angles, or most of the angles that he know about. That's in this paradigm. Then you got Nature Boy. Nature Boy remind me of the Mac. The Mac, if you ever seen that movie, The Mac, there's a part in the movie where the Mac was selling his hoes on a dream, you know, and he masterfully did it. And he had stars and moons, and you know, he had a projection screen, and he was projecting images on this screen. And the way he turned his hoes out, it was different from the rest of the pimps. But see, nowadays it's different because most pimps call themselves pimp. They dope them up, you know, give them some drugs. But Nature Boy, he's doing the same thing that the Mac was doing, but his was different because he don't have the street apparel of the Mac, the fly hats, you know, the fly coats, you know, overcoats and whatever. But he sells people on a dream. But he called himself Melon Nation But he caters to the Caucasian also, because the Caucasian got them dollars. And when you listen to him talk, I heard him give him a talk about cosmic currency. And it winds up talking about rich people getting rich people's money, investing in your dream. So he's pimping these rich people, but he's also a trick and a hoe, because he's catering to the bisexual aspect. You know, in other words, he'll do anything to get a dollar, because ultimately his thing is money. You see, God, he don't need money. He don't need nothing, because everything is already here, and he created it that you need to live on this planet Earth. Only thing you got to do is cultivate it. You know, just maintenance it. You know, make sure it get rain and nourishment, and all you need grows itself. Because all you need is really air, sunshine, and food. You know, and you really probably don't need food, because you can get your energy direct from the sun. But we use the plants and animals, which we don't supposed to be eating certain animals, and certain animals that's not in the dietary law of Allah. But Allah, when he first hooked everything up, he said, you know, I give you herbs and herbs for food. He say nothing about meat, you know, for meat. He said, I give you herbs and herbs all the seeds for meat. In other words, a flesh wasn't in it. Eating the flesh of an animal wasn't in it. But since man devolved, he started eating the flesh of animals. So Allah prescribed a certain type of animals, you know, that was halal, that man could eat. But God, if he made everything, he created everything, and everything comes from the mind of God, he don't need no outside enhancement. All enhancement is on inside. And so now we up on a young Pharaoh. Young Pharaoh, you know, he's like a leech. He got hooked up with Nature Boy in the beginning, because he thought Nature Boy, you know, was going to hit real big, which Nature Boy is hitting real big now. But it wasn't fast enough for young Pharaoh. So young Pharaoh started riding the coattails of different guys that was already on the platform of Sinetta. There were stars in the black conscious community that Sinetta was creating. And Sinetta was giving them a platform. And then he hooked up ultimately with Seti. You notice I didn't say Seti was no pimp. Seti, he wanted to be a revolutionary, but he going about it wrong. He going about it wrong. He remind me of like a broke down Huey P. Newton. Huey Newton, you know, he was great, but he got his thing from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know. But our red, black, and green RBG community, you know, they mostly under the teachers of Marcus Garvey. But wasn't none of them deep as Elijah Muhammad. And by them chasing after that dollar, and when they started getting it, they turned agent. You know, because the Caucasian, when you start getting money uh, in them circuits, you create circuits, you know, that you go to different circuits that you go through. Black speakers got, you know, they got a circuit, the colleges, the bookstores and different things like that. I know because I was deep in it one time. I wasn't as deep as I could get, but I was deep into the inner workings of how that how the black scholars and so-called work, you know. But it's all about that dollar. I don't charge nothing, and if I get a following, it ain't because I got it off of y'all asking y'all to give me some money, you know. Cause my thing is my will. I don't bow to no nobody else's will. So all of Nature Boy's people bow to Nature Boy's will. All of Young Pharaoh's people bow to his will, and so forth. You know, it's a thing about willpower. Now, if you could think on a higher vibration, but do you got the willpower that you need to pull away from the gravity of the white man? And you don't. Most people, the only one I know pulled away from the gravity of the Caucasian was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because the only white people that gave the Honorable Elijah Muhammad some money was Muslims. You know, Muslims from other countries, not from the United States. You know, they loved Elijah Muhammad over there. Eventually, even Muslims from other countries couldn't get away from the gravity of the European Caucasian. They succumbed to that dollar. So these young cats now, you know, they can't get away from it, you know, because these young black sisters, they got to have that security. So they're going to make you, they're going to say, well, you know, you got some black devils, you know. You should know because you're one of them. Why you say that? Because you up under the mindset of the devil. And no matter what you do or say, you pushing the devil up to the top of the pyramid while you going to stay at the bottom. I don't care how much money you make, he going to make more money because you got to give him your money if you want to be in his system. Unless you know how to use the money he prints up against him, then, you know, he weaponizes money. So some brothers know kung fu or whatever, and they know how to take a weapon from, if they don't have a weapon, they know how to take a weapon from the one with the weapon and use the weapon against him. Well, if you could take that weaponized dollar bill from the Caucasian and use it against him, then you deep into the martial arts, you know. This is Black Light. We're going to come back with a part 2. Stay tuned.